Hello and welcome back to another episode of Clarissa Cooks It All. And today we're going to be making some Scotch eggs with some onion rings and some homemade ranch. I'm super excited. I love making my own sauces. And I've never even had Scotch eggs, let alone made them. So I'm pretty excited. It's something I've really wanted to try for quite some time. And ours today are going to be venison Scotch eggs. So let's get started. By boiling our eggs. I like to boil, put mine in just enough water to cover them, and once the water starts to boil, I put a lid on them and let them sit for 10 minutes. We're gonna do 6 eggs. Once those are done, we're gonna go ahead and just set those off to the side. Then we're gonna start preparing our ranch. We're gonna use 1 cup of Duke's mayonnaise. You can use any mayonnaise you prefer, but that one's my favorite and I think it works best with this. And then 3/4 of a cup of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of minced leeks, 1.5 tablespoons of fresh parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And then after we mix that all up, we're gonna give it just enough milk to thin it out to the consistency. For mine, I used about 1/8 of a cup to get it to the consistency I wanted. Once your ranch is all done, go ahead and put a lid on that and put it in the fridge until you're ready to serve. Then we're going to start working on our meat for our Scotch eggs. I use 1 pound of ground venison, a tablespoon of dried parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1.5 tablespoons of green onion minced, and 1/2 tablespoon of paprika, and mix this all up nice and good. Once we have this all nice and mixed up, we're going to start adding this around our hard-boiled eggs. You want to just take enough to put in your hand and to be able to flatten it out and form it up and around the egg. You want to make sure that your egg is completely covered, and you want to kind of try to work the meat. Make sure that you don't have any cracks in the meat for the oil to get through, because you will end up cracking your, the meat will start to kind of crack apart while it's deep frying if you don't have all those spots covered. Repeat this process until all of your eggs have been covered. Now it's time to get your oil ready. Make sure it's nice and hot. Then we're gonna get our flour, our eggs, and our breadcrumbs ready. I did a mix on my breadcrumbs of plain breadcrumbs and panko. Then we're gonna take our Scotch eggs and we're gonna put these first, roll them in some flour. Make sure you get off any excess. Roll them in the egg mixture and then into the breadcrumbs, and then they're ready to start deep frying. And you want to deep fry these until they're nice and golden brown. You don't want to overcrowd your pan, so I only put 3 of these in here at a time and cooked them in batches. Once they're all done, we're going to go ahead and just set these off to the side and let any excess oil drain off of them. Now it's time to start working on our onions. We're going to go ahead and slice them up into thick slices. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and start working on our batter for this. We're going to use 1 cup of flour mixed with 2/3 cup of cornstarch, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, 1/8 cup of vinegar, and then enough water to thin it out to your preferred consistency. And you're going to want it to be a little bit thinner because we are going to be first putting the onions into flour to get the batter to help it to stick onto there. So you're going to want a little bit thinner of a batter for this. Once we have this all mixed up, it's time to go ahead and start working on frying up our onions. I like to take my onions and let them sit in a little bit of some milk first, and then I dip them into just some plain flour and then add them into the batter and go ahead and put them into the oil and fry them up till they're nice and golden brown. Now for your Scotch eggs, you could use like a mustard or a barbecue sauce, but I just went ahead and used the ranch with this. I also had some extra leeks that I had sliced up that I didn't end up needing in the ranch, so I just went ahead and fried those up too. Those ended up being my 2-year-old's favorite. They did turn out pretty good, but they weren't like something that was planned. So, well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Y'all enjoyed. Definitely stay tuned and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Upcoming, we're gonna have some almond banana bread, and I'm also gonna be doing a quick little video on making crunch wraps at home. And I'm not sure what else we have coming up, but we definitely got some new stuff coming up for sure. Thank y'all for watching.